So I'm really trying to keep my hopes up for Halo Infinite, guys. Like, I really do hope that Forge is as good as we think it will be, right? Like, I hope it'll bring us all that new content that we want, all those new experiences. And then, much later next year, I really do hope the Battle Royale is awesome. I am a fan of Battle Royales. And I hope it can maybe, put a dent in games like Apex and Call of Duty. Like, I really hope these things happen. But I also can't lie to myself. Like, I see what I see. And one of the big things I see right now is that the majority of the Halo community seems to just not be having fun anymore, and they're just not happy. So it's like you got a lot of us who are kind of disappointed, right? Like, we were very excited for Halo Infinite, and it hasn't really gone as well as we hoped it would, right? I think that's, to say the least. So those people aren't happy. And then you got the people who I do believe are in the minority, but not a, insignificant amount of people are still enjoying the game. They play it more as like a weekend shooter, right? And I think those people who are still enjoying the game, they are unhappy because they see, what seems to be a majority of the community who's unhappy with the game and is very vocal about that. And I think that's what's leading to a lot of, the fighting we see in the Halo community. So it really sucks, man. It's like if you don't like the game, obviously you're not happy. And then even if you do like the game, you feel like you're unhappy. So obviously that's going to suck a lot of hope out of, anybody. But, I have to also call something out. Like I said, I see what I see. And, it's been 2 months since season 2 came out. And I can't help but have a quote by Joseph Staten keep popping in my head. I'm like, okay, it's been 2 months. Like, what have we gotten? It's like really all we've gotten is the drop pod, and I mean, look, these are all good changes, but like, this is not that much stuff. This is certainly not new content. So after 2 months, and let's go to Joe Staten's statement from back in March of this year, and you'll see why it keeps popping into my head. So he said to the Washington Post back, on March 30th around here, fans are really soon going to be exposed to some cool stuff we have for season 2. It's taken a little bit longer to get the engine up to speed, communications flowing in the way that we want to, but the engine is cranking, and I'm super excited about the next year and beyond. So when I look at what we've actually gotten, over the past 2 months and, since he said this, I don't know, man, if you want to use an engine analogy, it doesn't seem like the engine is cranking at all. If anything, it seems like the engine is starting to, misfire, and it seems like it's going to stall out. Not only has there not been a significant amount of new content in here, especially with this drop pod, but like certain aspects of the game, not a lot, but like there are aspects of the game that have gotten worse. And, some of it is subject to opinion, but it's really like the feel of the game is that it's almost like regressing, which is like, what? Let's take the store, for example. We don't have daily items anymore. Like, the store has less stuff in it. And look, I know people like, oh, the store, don't talk about the store. The fact is that since this game came out, the store is one of the major and main avenues upon which new content comes in. Yeah, we gotta pay for it, but like, you can't ignore the fact that the store is a significant part of the game. And honestly, like, if the prices were just lower still, like, they've been raising the prices up, but if the prices were better, if you could buy individual items and there was more, selection, the store really wouldn't be that bad, and it would be a lot better than other games that are more expensive. So it's like we didn't offer so much feedback to 343 about the store for no reason. Like, it could be improved. It actually could be a relatively enjoyable thing. Obviously, purchasing macro transactions always gonna sting a little, but it is give and pull with everything. But just looking at the shop, like, the shop has gotten technically worse. Like, again, we don't have dailies anymore. They've been messing with the prices. The prices went up, they inflated. And then there hasn't been any improvements like whatsoever. Like, there's not more stuff. There's no individual items. All right, so that's gone backwards. Another thing is like, I think the Mangler nerf was probably a good thing, but it's like they nerfed that weapon. It feels like the game has like less weapons now. You know what I'm saying? And then of course with season 2, we didn't get any new weapons. We also still haven't gotten cross core. And so, these new cores that they've added just kind of like make that problem compounds. Like, oh great, like even more cores I can't mix and match with, and I gotta just pay a lot of money to unlock anything for. But seriously though, the fact is that Joe Staten in March said the engine is cranking, and I personally don't see how the engine is cranking at all. Like I said, I think it's closer to stalling out. And this is like not the only thing he said that either like sticks out to me as being odd. Like, check this one out. This is what he said back in April. Check this out. So Sketch asked him during this live stream, like, what are they prioritizing?
What are a couple examples off the top of your head of things that the team is actively sort of investigating and or working on right now?
Yeah, well, it's very kind of you to say off the top of my head, but
Okay, so he goes, off the top of my head, don't worry, I brought notes.
I
Yes,
actually brought
yes.
some notes to make sure that I was very
It's smart,
specific
yep.
about these. And
Okay, so his answer to this question, he brought notes to make sure that what he said was accurate, okay? Now check out what he says as part of his answer.
yeah, when we talk about quality of life, stuff that we're going after that matters right now in the game, we think about things like anti-cheat. But we know there's some things that we need to dig into now. The ranked experience is something that we also have recognized as something that matters right now. So that's work that we're diving
Yep.
into. Network improvements around desync.
Desync. Joe Staten actually mentioned desync back on April 27th, said that's one of their priorities at that time. Okay, so they're working on desync by the end of April, according to his notes. Like, he's looking down at the notes. And then recently, it turns out that no, they're not working on desync, right? They put people, Unisec confirmed that they got all the desync people on co-op. Now, obviously, I think that's because they are limited on staff, and fixing desync is going to be a much bigger task than just getting co-op going. So I can understand why they would do this, but I still can't help it. Like, it still seems odd that, like, not that long ago, right before the season came out, Joe Staten's reading off his notes. He's like, yeah, we're fixing desync. And then, oh no, we're not working on desync. So, like, what's going on, Joe? Right? You said the engine was cranking, doesn't seem to be cranking. You said you were fixing desync, you're not. Hey, another one. They said he said that we were going to get the roadmap in January, right? And then he had to tweet in February of this year, oh, sorry, the roadmap's delayed, my bad. We got the roadmap in April, right? Months later. How many months? Almost 3 months after they said it would come. Now, obviously, I'm like narrowing on some of the things he said, but I mean, he doesn't tweet that often. He doesn't appear on these live streams that often, right? He doesn't do the interviews all that often. And again, I am focusing on certain things, but this is why I'm trying to have hope for this game, but I can't help but notice patterns. Like, bro, that's what practically my whole channel was founded on. Like, I find patterns. I analyze everything, and I see everything. And what I'm seeing is, I don't know, man, that it really all comes back to this. The engine does not seem to be cranking, right? That's really what it comes down to. They're not meeting deadlines, And so what that does to me is it makes me wonder and have even more concern for Forge, which, let's be honest, if Forge comes out scuffed, Halo is totally doomed until the Battle Royale comes out towards the end of next year, around fall. And dude, September, is almost 2 months away. It's barely 2 months away. And we haven't seen like anything on Forge. And the fact is that they're calling it a beta. It's going to be a Forge open beta. So why else would they call it a beta other than that something is scuffed about Forge and we're going to find out? And I feel like that's why they're not like sharing too much info yet, right? Like, it wouldn't be called a beta unless it has issues. So it's got some kind of issues. So the question is, are the issues going to make it so scuffed that like there's a lot of backlash to it? Or is it just going to be minor stuff that we can work around? And it's just hard to have confidence when like you just can't really like and this goes back to like not having hope. It's hard to have hope, and have hope for any of this stuff when like, where's the hope? Like, why would you have hope? The words, the things they say just don't seem to materialize is really what it is. It's just like constant letdowns. So once again, everybody's so excited for Forge, right? We're like, oh, we just got to make it to Forge. And it seems like if we go based off the history, we're just going to get our hopes let down, right? And I think that's what it is for me. I want to have hope for this game. I want it to do well, but like, I'm just kind of like sick of getting burned is really what it is. Part of it's on us. Like, honestly, I thought season 2 was going to be better. Like, I saw this roadmap. I was like, oh, it's going to be great. Like this is enough. But when you really like break this down, like it really is like not that much. It really is just more of season 1 all over again. I thought it would feel like more because of co-op and Forge, but hopefully when these features come out, it'll feel like a more complete season, at least more than season 1. But right now, this season doesn't feel much better than the last season. It's just really what it comes down to. Anyways, that's what I think right now, guys. Let me know in the comments how you're feeling about Halo. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And hey, that's all I got for now. Talk to y'all later. Peace.